Shame is not an accident. It is a weapon. Picture a room where laughter suddenly turns sharp. A comment lands, framed as a joke or a moral correction. Eyes shift. Heat rises in your face. Your chest tightens. The instinct to explain surges because silence feels like guilt. That reaction is the trap. Shame is designed to provoke defense. The moment you justify yourself, you accept their frame and surrender position. Power moves away from you and into the hands of the accuser. Machiavelli understood this. Control the frame, and you control the outcome. Lose it publicly, and status freezes instantly. Here is the warning. Shame only works on men who need approval. The calm man who does not rush to defend becomes untouchable. He does not argue morality. He withholds reaction. If you cannot resist that impulse, stop here. Because once you learn to see shame as an attack, shame works because it targets the oldest part of the brain. Long before laws or logic, survival depended on remaining inside the group. Public rejection meant isolation, and isolation meant danger. Shame evolved as a control signal, a way for groups to enforce conformity without violence. That mechanism never disappeared. It only changed costumes. Today, shame shows up as moral language, jokes, call-outs, and disappointed looks. When it happens publicly, the effect is immediate. Status freezes. The group stops listening to intent and starts recording reaction. Private criticism wounds the ego. Public shame rewrites hierarchy. The instinctive response is explanation. You rush to clarify, justify, or soften the accusation. This feels rational, but psychologically it is submission. Explanation signals that you accept the authority of the accuser and the judgment of the crowd. You are no longer choosing your frame. You are pleading inside theirs. Socially conditioned men are trapped here. They are trained to value being understood over being respected. When shame appears, they react emotionally, hoping clarity will restore safety. It never does. Each word tightens the net. Sovereign observers operate differently. They recognize shame as a test, not a truth. Instead of reacting, they slow down. They allow silence to interrupt the script. Without emotional fuel, shame collapses because it cannot complete its function. The mental shift is critical. Shame does not mean you are wrong. It means someone is attempting to control behavior through exposure. Once you see that, urgency disappears. The body relaxes. Breath deepens. You stop performing innocence. This is why power favors observers over reactors. Reactors give immediate feedback. Observers create uncertainty. And uncertainty destabilizes anyone trying to dominate the social frame. Understanding this changes everything. You stop fearing shame and start reading it as information, which is where immunity truly begins quietly. Power is not loud, it is controlled. Shame is loud because it needs reaction. These 5 laws strip shame of oxygen and return the frame to you. Law 1. Shame only works if acknowledged. The instant you recognize an accusation as something that must be answered, you grant it authority. Players refuse the premise. Pieces rush to respond. By not acknowledging, you deny the exchange its currency. No agreement, no debate, no submission. The attack stalls. Law 2. Silence collapses moral authority. Moral posturing relies on momentum and witnesses. Silence interrupts both. When you do not speak, the accuser must continue alone. Each extra word they add weakens their claim. Calm quiet forces the crowd to reassess who is in control. The quieter man rises. Law 3. Emotional defense confirms guilt. Emotion signals investment. Investment signals vulnerability. When you defend with anger, shame, or humor, you validate the frame that something needs defending. Players keep their tone level. Pieces emote. Neutrality drains the charge and leaves nothing to hook. Law 4. Delayed response reclaims frame. Time is leverage. Immediate replies are reactions. Delayed replies are choices. By waiting, you reposition the interaction from trial to observation. The delay communicates options. It shows you are not cornered. Often the correct response appears after the pressure fades or becomes unnecessary. Law 5. Status is protected through composure, not justification. Justification begs for fairness. Composure assumes it. The composed man does not argue morality in public. He lets his posture, pacing, and presence do the work. Status is read, not explained. Notice the pattern. None of these laws attack back. Aggression is unnecessary. The goal is not to win arguments, but to deny the arena. Players exit the ring intact. Pieces stay and bleed credibility. The internal shift is decisive. You stop seeing shame as truth and start seeing it as a tactic. That realization steadies the nervous system. Breath slows. Shoulders drop. The urge to perform innocence disappears. There will be moments when silence feels risky. That discomfort is conditioning. Groups train men to fear pause. Sovereignty tolerates it. Calm men let gaps exist because gaps expose the other side. Applied consistently, these laws change behavior around you. Accusations soften. Jokes lose edge. People test less. They sense boundaries without hearing rules. That is power. This framework is not about being cold. It is about being unreachable. When shame cannot land, manipulators move on to easier targets. Understand the social math at work. Shame needs three things: an accuser, an audience, and your participation. Remove one, and the mechanism fails. You cannot always remove the accuser or the audience, but you can always remove participation. That removal is composure. Composure is not passive. It is active refusal. It communicates that you are not auditioning for moral approval. This is why players rarely look rattled. They have rehearsed non-participation. Pieces have rehearsed apology. Training yourself to pause is training yourself to win without conflict. The pause creates asymmetry. The other side spends energy escalating while you conserve it. Energy conservation is dominance in social combat. Over time, your reputation shifts. People learn that shaming you produces nothing. No spectacle, no apology, no entertainment. Attempts decrease. When they do occur, they are softer and indirect. That is deterrence achieved without threat. Remember this distinction. Confidence seeks validation. Composure assumes position. One is noisy. The other is quiet and durable. Durability matters because social memory favors patterns over moments. And consistent composure rewrites expectations faster than any clever comeback ever could, especially when witnesses expect drama and receive none instead. Once you master this, situations that once triggered panic become quiet observations. You are no longer reacting inside their frame. You are choosing when to engage, if at all. That choice restores hierarchy. Next comes application under real pressure, where composure must be demonstrated, not discussed. In the workplace, a colleague frames a criticism as concern. Is this really professional? Old you feels heat surge and answers immediately. You explain context, defend intent, list effort. The room watches you work to clear your name. Authority drains as you speak. Untouchable you pauses. Eyes steady. No rush. A brief acknowledgement or none. The question hangs without fuel. The accuser is forced to continue alone or retreat. Silence resets the frame. You remain intact. In a social group, ridicule arrives as humor. A joke at your expense, laughter disguised as bonding. Old you smiles, fires back, or self-deprecates to soften the blow. You trade dignity for acceptance. The group learns you can be moved. Untouchable you does not perform. You let the laugh pass through the room and out the door. Posture open. Expression neutral. The joke dies without echo. Others glance away, recalculating. What cannot be shaken becomes respected. In relationships, guilt is weaponized. If you cared, you would. Old you explains feelings, negotiates timelines, promises change. You accept the premise and surrender leverage. Untouchable you refuses the frame calmly. No counterattack. No emotional speech. You acknowledge the statement without conceding it. Space appears. The manipulation loses traction because it finds no purchase. Across every scenario, notice the contrast. Old you reacts to restore comfort. Sovereign you withholds reaction to preserve position. One seeks understanding. The other maintains alignment. The shift is internal before it is visible. Breath slows. The urge to justify fades. You stop proving innocence and start observing intent. That observation changes outcomes. When restraint becomes habitual, shaming attempts shorten or vanish. People sense there will be no spectacle. No apology, no reward. What remains is quiet authority, earned without confrontation, reinforced by repetition, and remembered by witnesses long after the moment passes, shaping how they approach you next time. Consistency trains the room to disengage, and disengagement starves shaming tactics of leverage, attention, and drama, leaving you composed, unprovoked, and positioned above the noise when pressure returns publicly without explanation, apology, spectacle, hesitation, or retreat. Composure is powerful only when it fits the arena. In social hierarchies and reputation-based environments, calm refusal works because perception decides outcomes. Here, silence reads as confidence. Delay reads as choice. Withdrawal forces others to overextend, exposing motive. Status stabilizes when you deny spectacle. This approach fails inside legal settings or formal accountability structures. Courts, contracts, and regulated workplaces require records, timelines, and responses. Silence there is not dominance. It is risk. Power adapts. You document privately, respond precisely, and let process, not performance, protect you. The critical distinction is calm refusal versus passive avoidance. Calm refusal is intentional. It maintains posture, eye contact, and measured language while declining the frame. Passive avoidance leaks fear. It avoids contact, breaks rhythm, and signals retreat. One preserves position. The other concedes it. Ethical calibration keeps authority intact without escalation. You do not mock accusers or seek humiliation. You deny leverage. When engagement is necessary, you speak minimally, factually, and without emotion. When withdrawal is smarter, you disengage cleanly and return to your lane. Think in terms of incentives. Where audiences reward drama, deny it. Where systems reward compliance, comply strategically. Sovereign men read terrain before choosing tools. The internal rule is simple. Never react to restore comfort. Act to protect position. If engagement increases leverage, engage. If silence increases leverage, withdraw. Mastery shows in selection, not stubbornness. The same restraint that builds power in public can backfire under formal scrutiny. Intelligence is knowing the difference. When you calibrate correctly, shame loses reach without creating enemies. You remain composed, credible, and difficult to corner. That balance keeps power quiet and durable long-term. Immunity to shame begins when you stop outsourcing your worth. Moral approval is a currency designed to control behavior, not measure truth. The moment you detach from needing it, shame loses leverage. You no longer scan faces for permission. You anchor internally. This identity shift is subtle. You stop asking if you look right and start asking if you are aligned. Validation moves inward. When judgment comes, it passes through you instead of sticking. Calm presence becomes armor because it signals self-trust. A man who trusts himself cannot be easily framed. Power lines emerge and hold. I do not need to be understood. I do not defend my character. I decide my standards. These are not affirmations. They are boundaries spoken silently through posture and pacing. The immune man is not cold. He is grounded. He listens without absorbing. He allows accusations to exist without rushing to dissolve them. That patience communicates dominance more clearly than any rebuttal. Internally, something settles. The nervous system slows. Breath deepens. The urge to explain fades. You realize shame only bites when you chase acceptance. From this position, attacks feel informational, not personal. You read intent, not tone. You choose response, not reaction. That choice restores hierarchy. Sovereignty replaces performance, and stability becomes your reputation when pressure arrives publicly and leaves you unmoved. Stillness is the first signal. When a shaming attempt lands, untouchable men do not rush to adjust posture or expression. They remain physically quiet. That stillness communicates control before thought forms. Eye contact follows. Calm, unbroken, without challenge. Not aggressive, not submissive. Just present. It tells the accuser you are not fleeing and not fighting. You are observing. Observation destabilizes. Pacing is deliberate. Response is slow. Movement's economical. This breaks the expected rhythm of shame. which relies on speed and emotional spike. When timing stretches, the script collapses. Non-reaction is dominance because it denies reward. Shame needs reaction to feel real. Without it, the attempt feels awkward, even embarrassing. The accuser senses the imbalance and often fills the silence themselves. That overextension is the turning point. As they explain, justify, or escalate, they expose motive. The audience notices. Authority quietly shifts. Silence does not mean passivity. It is pressure without effort. It forces others to reveal intent while you reveal nothing. Untouchable men understand this instinctively. They let moments pass. They let words hang. They allow discomfort to exist. In that space, hierarchy reorganizes. Those who sought control lose it. Those who remain calm gain it. Silence becomes the loudest signal. For 5 days, you will train exposure instead of avoidance. Each day, place yourself in mild social pressure. Meetings, conversations, public spaces where opinions exist. The goal is not comfort. It is control. Rule 1. No explanations. If questioned, respond briefly or not at all. Do not justify intent. Do not soften edges. Silence is the exercise. Rule 2. No emotional defense. Notice heat in the face, tension in the chest, the urge to correct perception. Breathe slowly. Relax the jaw. Let the sensation pass without action. Rule 3. Observe. Watch how others react when you do not perform innocence. Notice who escalates, who withdraws, who recalibrates. Each day ends with reflection, not rumination. What happened when you did nothing? By day 3, urgency weakens. By day 5, composure feels natural. The nervous system learns sovereignty when pressure arrives without reaction or explanation. Shame only works on men who need approval. The moment you stop chasing acceptance, the weapon disarms itself. What once felt humiliating becomes informational, and information can be handled calmly. There is a cost to this immunity. Manipulators withdraw. Attention seekers lose interest. Some relationships thin out. That is not loss. It is filtration. Power does not apologize for boundaries. This is not a call to dominate others. It is a contract with yourself. You agree to stop defending your character in public. You agree to let silence carry weight. You agree to choose composure over performance when pressure arrives. From now on, you do not rush to explain. You do not trade dignity for comfort. You hold your frame and let others adjust. Remember the line that ends the game. I do not seek approval. I protect position. Calm becomes authority when you refuse the spectacle and remain unmoved.